Welcome back to my channel, you guys. If you are new here, my name is Patrice Carothers, and this channel is for pregnancy and my pregnancy update and what I'm going through. So today we're going to be talking about the first time we found out that I was pregnant, and I have my husband here. His name is Brady. Just in case you guys...
Wait, you're pregnant?
We're just going to talk about the first time we found out that we were pregnant. So, you want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay, so I already knew I was pregnant. As you guys watched my videos before, you knew that I had some implantation bleeding. So with that, I just felt as though as soon as I did my first pregnancy test, that it wasn't a big surprise for me that I was pregnant. Yes, I was excited. We had been trying for a really long time to get pregnant. So it was definitely something that was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is really happening. And it was kind of out of the blue for us because we weren't really trying. Well, at least I wasn't really trying for that month to get pregnant. So it was definitely a surprise. It was a beautiful blessing, and I couldn't have been even more excited about it. How'd you feel?
I was excited. I was trying to manage my expectations because I hear, especially with couples that try for a long time before they get pregnant, you hear about, losing the pregnancy early on and stuff like that. So I was definitely really, really excited once we had our first OB appointment.
Yeah.
And we could hear the heartbeat and everything, and it was like, okay, we're almost to that first trimester. It's stuck. We're pregnant. We're about to have a baby. So then I kind of let myself be more excited.
But how did you feel like initially, like after I told you, after I ran into bed, hit you, and shoving the pea stick in your face?
That was it. Like I was really excited, but I was also trying to manage my expectations, with maybe in a way trying to like manage your expectations too. Like, yeah, that's awesome. I was excited, but there was still that chance that it might not have taken.
Yeah, which is true. And I talked about that too, how we didn't want to tell, well, we told a little bit of family and friends, but we didn't want to tell everybody or tell our work and stuff that we were pregnant until we were really close to being out of our first trimester, because we didn't want anything to happen and we had to go back and tell everybody like, oh, no, we're not pregnant anymore. Because that would be the worst of the worst. Like, nobody ever wants to have to go backtrack and do that. So I can understand where you're coming from with that. So how did you feel the first time you heard your baby's heartbeat?
Yeah, I was just about to start crying in that office, in that hospital room. I got all misty, like my eyes were watering. I'm not one to cry like that.
No.
But yeah, I was like, is it hot in here or? But yeah. It was really cool.
And I was like, for me, it was cool, scary all at the same time, because I was like, oh my gosh, I got like a human being inside me. Like, this is crazy. And obviously I was excited, but I was trying not to move all at the same time so we can be able to hear the heartbeat. So I'm trying not to like move or anything, but I was very excited and just elated that my baby's heartbeat was that powerful and we can actually hear it. Because then when did we find out? Like 10 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard our baby's heartbeat at 10 weeks, and it was the best sound in the world. It really was. And it never gets old too. Going back onto appointments and they check up on your baby and you always get to hear your baby's heartbeat and stuff like that, it never gets old. It's always something that's like bringing you closer to your child or bringing you closer to that moment and being able to hold them and cuddle them and do all that good stuff. So it's such a blessing. Well, at least to me, I'm like, this is a miracle. Like, oh my gosh, there's a little miracle inside me. I heard the heartbeat. So that's how it felt for me. But it was definitely the best sound that I've ever heard in my life. One of the best sounds. And one of the best days too. Like, that day was like really, I feel like your first appointment is really hard, especially for a woman. Everything that you have to go through, all of the poking and prodding that they have to do to you, but that that just was like the icing on the cake. It made everything worthwhile just going there to that appointment to hear my baby's heartbeat and to know that this is real. Because when you get a positive, it's like the best news ever, but when you hear that heartbeat, it's something completely different. So yeah, that's how I felt.
It was the first time that we had met the doctor,
Yeah.
our OB,
Yeah.
or her OB, and we were kind of like, we didn't know what to think. What's this guy going to be like, right? But we both really like him. He's just very practical, very matter of fact. I don't know how else to explain him. Any question that we've ever had, you know.
He doesn't treat us like we're dumb because, you know, like this is our first time, our first pregnancy. So he's very nice when it comes to like answering our questions that you know that he hears every day on a daily basis. He doesn't treat you like you don't know anything or anything like that. So,
and he's not trying to sell us on any medications or anything crazy, trying to upsell us on anything. Like, he's just, I feel like if there was a natural option for something, he would probably have us go that route instead of doing a prescription or medicated route. I just really appreciate that about him.
Yeah. Okay, so going into wrapping up our first trimester, you know how that can be really hard on couples. Like, it's hard not only for the woman, but it's definitely hard on the husband as well too, because it's so demanding, especially if you were like me in my first trimester where I had a lot of morning sickness, I had a lot of moodiness, I had a lot of mood swings, like I had just everything that was just coming at us all at once. So it can be trying on any relationship. So I kind of want to talk about that with my husband being here so he can share his side of the story in case there's other husbands going through it or other women that are pregnant and don't understand why their husbands are kind of like, what is wrong with her? So for me, in my first trimester, it was really hard. It was really difficult. The things that I wanted to do, I just felt like my morning sickness was definitely keeping me from doing that. And every little thing would make me so irritated, as far as like, you know, my kitchen table not being spotless, my house not being spotless, like everything got on my last nerves, but nor did I have the ability, well, it felt like I didn't have the ability to get up and do anything about it without throwing up anywhere or without feeling like crap. Like I just felt like crap, and I just wanted more help around the house with everything, doing the laundry, doing the chores, you know, like all of the things to keep your household running. And I didn't know how to express that well enough to my husband to be able to like help me in knowing how I felt in that moment, because I felt like that was something that was really hard for the both of us, because I'm struggling with myself, like just get up and do it, you know. But then I know like if I get up and do it, it's going to be a bigger problem because I feel like shit every time that I move. So it was just really hard for me, and trying to relay that over to him. He was just like, what are you doing? Like, why are you just sitting there doing nothing? I don't get it. And then you're complaining about everything. So just get up and do it. So how did you feel in that moment of like...
I mean, there was a little bit of that. I understand you were uncomfortable and had the morning sickness and everything, but I guess, like, I was helping and I was trying to help, but I was doing it because I didn't want you to have to hear it, and I didn't want you to have to smell it too. Like when I was vacuuming and cleaning up and stuff like that, all this stuff that I did kind of behind the scenes. And you were getting mad thinking I wasn't doing anything, but I was trying to do the stuff that I was doing to where it wouldn't affect you at all, but make things better and easier on you, like with as far as noises and smells go. Like the week we found out we were pregnant, we got a puppy. And that was probably one of the biggest... I wouldn't recommend that to anybody.
Yeah, it was really hard for me and for him, because he's trying to take care of the puppy
and her
and me, and my feelings is like, what is with this dog? Like why would we have this dog in the mix? And he was doing things that really irritated me, and I wasn't in the mindset of being able to be like, okay, well, he's a puppy. Like, give him some time to grow. Give him some time to learn things. I needed him to be like we tell him what to do and he does it, like our other dog. She's 2, almost 3, so she knows everything that's going on and she listens. So I just immediately assumed that this new puppy that we got is going to be just like her, and it wasn't like that at all. And that was very trying for us as well too, with like the new smells. That you guys already know how I felt about the smells, and all that stuff correlating up to like,
she already has a very sensitive nose, and then we added another dog to that, and our dogs they're
big
mastiffs. Yeah, they have a musk to them. So
it was just too much. And even,
but I kind of feel like I'm kind of glad he was here, because I feel like if Draco wasn't here to be the whipping boy, then I would have been the whipping boy. So it kind of got like
no.
Okay, no.
I don't think that's true at all, because you were helping out and I did appreciate it, but I wasn't seeing it as well too. Like you were saying, I feel like you were trying to do everything so that I wasn't seeing everything or seeing your progress. And then I feel like when I went to go do my chores, I was just doing my chores by myself and there was nobody here to help me. But it wasn't necessarily that I struggle with doing chores, don't get me wrong, but it was more so like, I don't feel good, you feel fine, so how about just like motivate me? And we had this discussion, like, just sometimes I just need a little bit of push, like just a little bit of motivation, like, hey babe, let's get these clothes knocked out, or hey babe, let's do these dishes together. And I was like, and that to me I felt like was very, it was enough to get me like, yeah, you know, I feel like crap, but let's get this done, let's do it together. Because it wasn't like I was doing it by myself, and it wasn't me forcing him to do it by himself either. We can just do it as a team and knock this stuff out and get it done and get it out of our way, and I don't have to worry about it.
That helped a lot too, because I could do the grunt of like the more laborious chores. But then I knew what you wanted me to do too. Like I wasn't just shooting in the air like, oh, I'll go clean this up or I'll do this, and then it might not even be something that you cared about. But then when we were cleaning together, it was like, yeah, we need to clean these blankets, or we need to clean these couches, they're really bugging me. And I mean, that helped me just to kind of focus our work.
That's true. But how do you feel about it being the end of the first trimester? Like I'm
glad. You have already gotten less irritable, and you've been nicer to Draco. That's the dog. A little bit.
I feel like he's listening a little bit more now too. Yeah. But I feel like, what were you saying with puppies when they're getting when they're in a new home, it takes them about 3 weeks to get used to their environment.
A normal dog, a grown dog, it takes them 3 months to get used to a new environment. And with a puppy, mix that with being a puppy, and it takes them even longer, and it can be even more of a challenge. Just, learning the boundaries, learning what they can chew on, what they can't chew on, that stuff. I mean, we have an ottoman that's destroyed right now, and
tell me about it.
But we found a trick to take care of that, and he hasn't messed with it since.
That's true. You want to tell him?
Yeah. So it was and I looked it up online too. I kind of changed the ingredients a little bit, but it was a cup of water, and I used distilled water, so there wouldn't be any, hard water or anything like that. And then I used, it called for 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. I used 3 just because we have big dogs and they like nasty smelling stuff.
Right.
So I wanted it to be very potent for them to irritate them. And then dogs naturally don't really care for citrus. So we had some citrus.
Like essential oils.
Essential oil. And so I used quite a bit of that essential oil and mixed it all together, and I sprayed that. So, and it's not so acidic and vinegary that it's going to make your house stink.
Yeah, I can't even smell it.
Yeah, she couldn't even smell it, and I sprayed it on a lot on that ottoman. We're both kind of stubborn people.
Mostly him.
So,
You're like, we're blaming each other. It's mostly him.
I mean, I think you both can tell.